G'day, mates. How you doing? Just making sure you can still hear me and the music and everything's working. Seems like it is. So I'm gonna go back to the countdown. All right. Why, g'day you bloody legends, how's it hanging? Stoked to have you back here for another Ripper stream, part of the Worldbuilding series here at the Templin Institute. Today we're getting stuck into something a bit special. We're knocking together a star map for Dawn of Victory, our sci-fi corker. Gonna be a fair dinkum ride as we map out the stars and build this beautiful universe, so pull up a pew, grab a cold one, and let's get this show on the road. Fair go, it's gonna be a bonza. Alright, so let's get that out of the way. Australia, my favorite accent. Gonna be doing it a lot this stream. Can't be helped, has to be done. But if you're just joining us, I am Mark, the man behind the curtain here at the Templin Institute, and today we're continuing work on our star map for Dawn of Victory, an original sci-fi setting being created by us here at the Templin Institute. Okay, what else do we need to go over? All the specifics, I guess. First, if you want to see how this map currently looks, there is a link that hopefully just popped up in stream. Yeah, there it is. Just updated today, so I think it's more or less all the changes are there. Okay, apart from that, if you want to contribute star system names, you can do so here. Probably. Yeah, there we go. And if you want to learn more about the universe, the wiki is there. Alrighty, so what's on the docket for today? Well, first, I guess let's go over what we did last stream, and let me bring up the old work screen. Okay, I keep forgetting to do that. So last stream worked on a lot of the UK. Kind of hit a roadblock, wasn't sure what to do. We added a bunch of more systems around here, up top here, the Canadian cluster, and then I wasn't sure where to go from here. And I've been thinking a lot about this map in general, and I think now that we got two regions in various stages of completion, the local cluster more or less done, and the Sea of Clouds, I don't know, 50% done? What's going on with this music? This doesn't fit. Is this any better? We'll see. Anyhow, with two of these big regions nearly done, I want to go back to, once we're finished with the Sea of Clouds, the French and the Californians and the rest of them, I want to go back and start looking at how we're doing the major kind of transit lanes in this universe, because I feel like at a glance you should be able to tell where the important routes are, and I don't feel like we got that yet. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. It's what contributed to me running into that roadblock. I think we gotta plan out the major highways of this universe a bit better. So expect like a major rework to parts of this universe that we've already done. Okay, and did I break chat, or is something else going on? I don't know. Let me get that on another monitor if you'll just bear with me for a second here. Sorry about that. I have found that streaming work even harder than streaming games, because you gotta like work at the same time. I guess that makes sense. People should have yeah. Sorry. Bear with me, because I would love to read out any questions that pop up. But I guess I'll say, yeah, taking questions throughout the stream. But I'm hearing myself now. But anything really. But if you have any questions about the universe, feel free. Super chats given priority. All right. So back to what I was saying. So as part of like doing a major rework of the major translate lanes, cosmic strings on this map, I'm thinking I want to simplify. Here, let me start drawing on stuff. Kind of simplifying this road here and making the paths through the Orion arm super obvious. And I think there should be one going up here too. So yeah, don't know why I'm bringing this up now, because I'll be working on it later, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking about in the background as we work on this section. So today's event: Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea. I was actually doing some research earlier. So Australasia, one of the major factions in Oto in this universe, not sure what it actually encompasses, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Definitely Australia and New Zealand, Tasmania, maybe this side of Papua New Guinea, although the border is going to be different because the Japanese got involved in Indonesia in this timeline. So what Australasia actually is might be a little bit different in this universe, but we'll worry about that later. For now, Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, going in somewhere around here. Anything else I should mention before we jump in? Oops, I broke everything. I guess not. I think we're good. Let's start putting them down, and I'm going to freak out as I always do whenever we start a new section for the first time. So, where's the legend? I don't suppose I have Australia or Australasia on here already, do I? No, I don't. All right, that's fine. I'll start it from scratch. Whoa, it's not even capitalized? What's going on here? How do I make it automatically capitalized? Is there a way to do this? Okay, I'll just hit caps lock. Australasia. Beauty. I tell you, streams don't get much better than this. We'll get rid of the gold star of communism, replace it with the white star of something, the Southern Cross, let's say. The Eureka flag, that's about all I know. Why isn't that going in front? Come on, give me a break. Arrange, send to front. Because it's on a different layer, I knew it. Perfect. They said it couldn't be done, but I did it. Okay, now, as for what Australasia is actually going to look like here, let's plan this out, something I don't normally do on these streams, as soon as I save. Okay, so we got America. Oh, America's pretty damn big. America over here. Currently, USA. The trial ran out for my tablet, so I can't actually use my fancy pen anymore, but I did like being able to draw actually on these streams, so maybe I'll spring for the full version. UK, we got the new California Republic over here. Not the official name, I'm just calling it that. And then I think we're gonna have France. Over here, and Australia. Maybe like kind of here. I think that works. Of course, we don't only, these are like the 5 major nations. But there are others, including the Philippines, which we got to worry about, Quebec, Ireland, and others, not all of which are in OTO, the military alliance controlling this part of the area. So mostly one faction, but you got others in there too. Okay, so as for Australia, I had one idea, which was that Australia was going to have 2 capitals and 2 flags, and kind of really represent the union or disunion, if you prefer, between New Zealand and Australia. Not sure how I feel about that anymore, especially since we're bringing in Papua New Guinea. Not a terrible idea, but I worry that it comes across too cartoonish. Not sure. But I like the idea of Australia, or Australasia, I'm going to be making that mistake a lot, being in this kind of really nice blue area with this stuff going on around here. Kind of reminds me of a coral reef, so I think that's good enough. So I think this whole section here. Plus, this way Australia is closer to Canada, which is nice. I'm a big fan of Australians, got nothing against them. Being neighbors would certainly improve things. Okay, so As for where the capital is going to go, I feel like this music is making fun of me. This sounds like the music you play with someone really messing up. Okay. So if we imagine that there's some like bigger star lanes on the edge of this map that haven't been made yet, maybe like one of them's going there. And maybe like another goes here. Again, I'm really gonna have to mess with everything we set up so far to make these new trade lanes work, but okay, we'll assume that the main way into Australian space is like somewhere around here. And it's coming down. And I guess one thing I should mention, as for names, I haven't decided on anything for Australia yet. With the UK and the US, pretty much every nation so far, we've tried to follow like pretty strict naming conventions. So, you know, America, you got American qualities and ideas. With Britain, we used castles. They're all named after castles. With Australasia, I don't know if we want a really solid naming convention. I kind of want to switch it up this time around and just do names with no real connection beyond, of course, being Australian in some way. So maybe like a mixture of mountain names. Whoops, I just screwed that up. Like mountains, rivers, but maybe also cities, maybe also people. Events, battles from history, that kind of thing. And it's not going to necessarily be that huge. The Americans, I think, have mid-70s in terms of systems. The British are mid-60s, I think. So Australasia should be a bit bigger than the Canadian section of the UK. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 systems. We'll do, I don't know, maybe 20-ish? 20-ish systems. And Transcendence asking, what do you use to make this? His name is Tim Barton. He is an incredible artist. But as for the actual program itself, that would be Illustrator, which I hate. It always screws up. It makes me look like an idiot on these streams. I think Australia's gonna be really tightly packed together. They found like a good cluster. And they're not super spread out. I'm gonna change my mind. They actually have 2 tight clusters and not a lot of stuff between them. Also, Scorpion Design, I saw ya pop up in chat there. Same Scorp I know from Twitter, I believe. Gonna guess there. If so, welcome. And if not, welcome also. Okay, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, how tightly packed is this? And speaking of our man, Tim Barton, always hassles me for putting stars directly over his beautiful nebula. But in this time, you'll note, I'm going kind of in the open space, so I'm growing as a person. Okay, should Australia have anything near Ireland? Do the Irish and the Australians and New Zealanders and the Papua New Guineans get along? I don't know. But would that be like a weird shape for Australia, if it were Australasia, if it's just kind of like that, like a big curve? Or a boomerang? Or should these be somewhere else? I don't know. Let's see. That feels right. I don't know what it is, but like having some of these clusters be like really tightly packed feels incredibly natural. And this represents the outback. You got your Great Barrier Reef, Australasia, and then you got your outback full of scorpions, John Locke's on a walkabout, that kind of thing. Okay. Do I need anything more? The risk is always that you overdo it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that might be Australia. That looks pretty cool. I like that. These kind of two different sections. And I guess I'll talk about something else that I saw pop up on Twitter or something. Also, man, the name of the stream is wrong. It should be session 15, not 14. What is happening here? If you're unaware, the Templin Institute is currently in the midst of like refreshing pretty much everything. So currently working on a new stream interface that hopefully will be debuted, if not this month, then next month for sure. But it's taken more time than expected because I want to do cooler stuff. Anyhow, what I was going to say is, we've mentioned many times before that number of stars does not correlate to economic power or military power or population or anything really in general beyond, you know, what part of the Orion arm they ended up in. So just because the United Kingdom has whatever it is, 60 something systems, and India only has what, a dozen at most, that does not mean that Britain has a larger population, economic output, industrial output, etc. than India. And I think now that we've kind of established the superpowers, or at least one of them, America, as having so many, I wouldn't mind going back and maybe adding a few more systems to India and Brazil and others. But we'll get there. All right, super chat just popped up. Thank you very much. Let me get to that here. I am the guardsman saying, are you going to make any nations that are weak small in the original timeline much bigger and more powerful than they are? Unreasonably gigantic Belgium, for instance. Well, I guess you could argue that I've already done that with the UK. They're a great power in our world, but in Dawn of Victory, they're verging on superpower status, nearly as powerful as the US. But in terms of your traditional small powers, maybe. I think Scandinavia probably hits a bit harder in this universe than OTL. Norway, Sweden, Finland, not the largest populations in the world, but they're pretty prominent. I'm trying to think of any others. I don't know. Belgium, like, chances are if you were a smaller nation on Earth during the 1930s and 1940s, you got gobbled up into the OTO or the, you know, the Comintern or the Axis or whatever, so hard to say for sure. You're either more powerful than you would be otherwise. Yeah, okay, so as to your point, Belgium, for instance, I don't know for sure what the status of Belgium is, but there's two options. Either they were absorbed directly into the German Reich and are just governed directly, so no state of Belgium, or they're independent, and because they've been independent for so long and they got a, I don't know, they got a jump start on the colonization, they probably have more star systems and more economic power than their original size on Earth would suggest. Is that an answer? I hope so. All right, let me get to this. So, adding in some lines. Personally, right now, I think Belgium is probably a part of the German Reich, so my apologies. But I'll keep trying to think of a nation that's like smaller on Earth that is big in space. That's not Scandinavia. Alright, so worry about that later. For now, let's start connecting these suckers. Also, what is happening? What did I do where the pen is now an X? Has it always been an X? Because that is blowing my mind. Come on. I don't know why this is bothering me so much, but why is the pen marker now an X? Like, it hasn't always been that. I know it hasn't been that. It's been something else. Okay, as for what to do next, this is where it gets tricky. All right, how about this? I really feel like this music does not feel Australian to me. Where is the Australian, whatever genre this is? Australian lo-fi. It does not exist. That's a shame. All right, well, I guess we're stuck with this. Okay, actually, if this is the capital, it should be on the largest string, I'd imagine. Going right into the cluster like so. I saw someone in chat mention Portugal, Northern Wolf there. Portugal might be a good example of a power that's, you know, wasn't super strong on Earth, at least in the 1930s, that maybe is punching above its weight, historically speaking, in the DOVverse. Although there's also a chance that they got eaten up by Spain, so could go either way. Although I feel like we have a bunch of Portuguese fans in chat, or at least Portugal gets mentioned a lot, so maybe I can't get away with that. Maybe it has to be independent and the dreams of the Iberian Union are dead forever. Who can say? Either way, though, and my apologies, they are in the Axis, so that's what's up. Okay, that looks kind of weird. Maybe we'll add another one. Better. I am the guardsman saying the Anglo-Portuguese alliance has finally ended after many centuries. Never, because there's probably a government of exile or government in exile from Portugal left over from the 1940s, hanging around the Sea of Clouds somewhere. Maybe we'll add it today. I feel like the shape of the strings has made this look uglier than I wanted it to. I've ruined something. I don't understand what. Why don't I like the look of this anymore? That fixed it perfectly. Good work, Mark. Don't know why, but it did. That's the thing about cartography. It's more of an art than a science. Kind of like genetics. The RJ guy asking, what proportion of the map would you say you've done so far? Okay, in terms of a percentage, so here's the entire map. The black space is the entire map. We've revealed, I'm gonna say, maybe 1/6 of the map has been revealed, if I had to guess. And of that 1/6, we've done maybe 50%. So 1/12 of the map, maybe. Of course, like, the number of star systems tends to die out around the edges. Like, there's not a whole lot going on right at the edges, but in terms of like major areas, there's still a fair ways to go. CB Tenthusiast asking, are there any neo-feudal nations? No, I hate neo-feudalism. I don't know, I don't want to say no because that closes off too many doors, but in terms of your traditional like space kings and space feudalism and lords and lineages and all that shit, never. I hate space feudalism, and I got to write a video about that sometime. So expect that on the docket soon. And Charlie Berry, thank you very much for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Helps keep the lights on around here. Saying, when I say thank you for the shows you make, love that one about the Greater Terran Union one. Are you going to make any organization still vigilant against aliens, like groups that have influence on countries but no direct country? So like a international organization, or maybe an organization with no government authorization, legitimacy, support, whatever, that's searching for aliens. Yes. There's definitely a bunch of research groups that study alien ruins, both in places like the Well of Embers and the Calypso Deeps, but also on Earth itself. Research is happening all the time on Earth, trying to figure out what went wrong and what the Synfaxi were and all that stuff. So I would say yes, most of them are related to the government, but I'm sure there's some private institutions like, I don't know, mapping stars on the edges of the map, trying to figure out what's going on. So yes, there are some. I'm getting distracted by how cool this place looks. I think the map is really coming together. But as for that, we'll also connect them to the Irish. And Dragon Master 36 asking, are there any new space constitutional monarchies? That is a good question. So, part of the reason I don't like feudal systems also stems from the fact that I don't love monarchies in general. And I think the idea that any new constitutional monarchies, like without any lineage to those that have existed on Earth, doesn't seem likely to me. The background for that book everyone loves, what's it called? Manticore, the Manticore book series. Someone help me out. I should know this. We've done videos on them. Shit. Why isn't anyone correcting me? Chat always corrects me, except for when I need it. The Honorverse. The Honor Harrington series. Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, in the background lore of that series, of that universe, the Manticore colonists, just like, they elect somebody and they're like, this guy is so good, let's make him our king and we'll just have like a monarchy from now on. And I hated that. I thought that was like the dumbest piece of lore in a while. So yeah, nothing like that in Dawn of Victory, where like the colonists on Alpha Centauri are like, oh, you know what, let's make our president a king and we'll have kings from now on. No, that will not happen. However, the Empire of Japan doesn't have anything against constitutional monarchies. They don't think the same way as I do. So they have established new monarchies for Vietnam and who am I forgetting? Manchukuo and a bunch of Asian nations likely have emperors and possibly kings still. Hopefully that was an okay answer. And Temple of the Gods, thank you very much for the super chat, saying the Aussie area needs a meat pie system as well. Huh. I don't know enough about Australian cuisines to know if that's appropriate. Is that like one of the most beloved aspects of the nation, the meat pies? But let's start naming these, just so we got something. So I'm not following any strict naming convention here. Why is it doing that? I haven't had this problem the entire time, where it should be automatically making these. Aha, I found it. There we go, Eureka. Hey, Eureka! Man, that was a good moment that just happened here. Okay, we'll add Feathertop. Except Feathertop's a mountain. It should be somewhere mountainous, like there. Why has it suddenly decided that none of these have... Alright, hold on, I can fix this, Select same font, family style, and size. And... Okay, I think that just fixed it for every... I am learning Illustrator. I don't want to just constantly insult this program. I am finding some good stuff. But as for names, let's just keep going. Tasman, Jazoon, Friendship, one of the ships that carried convicts to establish the Australian colonies in the First Fleet. They had a slave prison ship called Friendship. Is that true? A merchant brig. Wow. That's ridiculous, though. Can't have a system named Friendship. People will think it's American. Walkabout, 2 on the nose. Okay, we got a mountain range with what I believe is an indigenous name, so that's pretty good. And again, these are just temporary names until we figure out, you know, what are the core elements of Australasia that we should really be naming stuff after. Francis Lever saying, would anyone confuse Friendship with American? Well, not in this timeline, but just because all the American systems are named after, like, sentiments and feelings and aspects, I feel like Friendship would come off as American. I don't know, that was just supposed to be a dumb joke. River of Mists, our Aboriginal name for the Yarra River in Southeast Australia. That's a good name. River of Mists. I'm gonna put it here. Okay. Oh, Serpent Rainbow. Or Rainbow Serpent, maybe. That makes more sense. Now we're in strictly the Polynesian sector. Red glow on the sunset of water in Maori. That's a good one. What else? Longest river in New Zealand. Can't be that long. New Zealand ain't exactly the largest island in the world, but it'll do for now. This is the danger of placing in temporary names, because it might poison the thought process, because now we have like most of the New Zealand names over here and most of the Australian kind of names over here. That wasn't the intent. So, I don't know. I'll make a note of that. And I'll try to find some more New Zealand names that, we might need to change how we organize these spreadsheets because it's kind of difficult to figure out which of these are New Zealand / Australian at a glance. Like, I know they're all in English, but that's not really important. Okay, James Busby, the drafter of the Declaration of Independence of New Zealand. Sure, you can get a star system for now. La Baguette asking, is Papua... How do you pronounce that, by the way? I just do Papua New Guinea, but that can't be right. Is Papua part of Australasia? Yes, it is, probably. I'm working off this domain, but with the idea that, like maybe... Whoops. Maybe... What, that's a bad color to use. You know, maybe most of this is Japanese. Something like that. So this part here is Australasia. Curtain. Okay, we got 3 more. All right, let's just start picking some at random. More Polynesian, I think. Maori, state of being 1. And did I already do? I already did that one. Great. That's more New Zealand rivers for now. Again, all temporary names. I don't think this makes any sense whatsoever right now, but good to get them on the map. So that's what's going on there. And another super chat, thank you very much, from Jacob Mueller saying, if you want to go back and rename a lot of the American stars, I wouldn't hate it. I think the names you have right now feel very cartoonish. So when you say that, are you talking the, like the, what do we call these? Like the qualities names? Because each cluster is supposed to have like a different theme, and the theme for these top ones is like concepts related to America. And I kind of agree, like some of these feel really weird. Like I'm from the serendipity system, or I'm from the possibility system. I don't know. So I'm not 100% certain on the American names. I think one thing we might do is have only the new American colonies have these more, I don't know, whatever we're calling these. That kind of naming convention. Whereas the Symphony subcluster and Gateway, etc., maybe we make those more regional, like the rest, and we have like Yellowstone, Shenandoah. So I don't fully disagree with you, but I do think it partially works, and I want to focus on that partially working part. I also think that, and this is a bit of, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on this, but I don't think the name of a star system is going to be as important to the people who live in this universe as it is to us. Because I think, like, in terms of importance, you got like your planet and then your city, whereas star system is mainly going to be only important whenever you're like traveling or, I don't know, getting the mail. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, star systems might be more of an administrative thing without a lot of significance in people's lives. It could be that the planet name is way more important, so I don't know. That's kind of what I've been thinking about. Not that that's an excuse to have lame names, but it does maybe offer an explanation for why these names would go in a weirder direction. Yeah. Something to think about. We also, like, I keep finding duplicates. There's 2 mosaics. Like, what's happening there? That's a mess. but we'll figure that out off stream. Let's keep going. So we've done Australasia. You know what? Should I start figuring out the new like major highways through the map? Like, should I start that experimentation process? Maybe next stream, because that'll require like destroying a bunch. So instead, what else can we work on? Maybe we'll start working on some of the smaller OTO nations, like the fuck it, let's just do France. I love France. Or New California. What to do? The problem is, I think one of the issues I'm running into when trying to come up with these new sections is that I really want to know where like the major transit lines are, so I can figure out like where does it make sense for the most important colonies to be? Where does it make sense for like the major kind of lines to be? So yeah, I'm gonna leave France for next stream. Instead, I'm gonna go back and mess with some of the independent colonies on this main line here. So my apologies. France is gonna be exciting, so I kind of want to leave that for a stream that we can advertise, you know? As in, we're working on France this stream and not just included in the Australasia stream. And Hole in the Rock, that'll make it a good name. And thanks for the super chat there, Zanker Hammer, saying, as an Italian, I would like to say that the Italian part of the map is too small. I would add another cluster of at least 5 planets. I think that's going to be a common sentiment. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of, as a blank, or as an X, I am concerned that the X part of the map is too small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I don't know. I think Italy is about right where I want it. I'm not opposed to going back and reevaluating things, but for now, I think it's good. Sorry. And I am the guardsman saying, I definitely think that the naming conventions seem far too strict. There should definitely be some more random names that some guys just thought up. Yes, agree 100%, but just not in the officially claimed systems, I guess. Unlike the original era of exploration, this was all planned out, so it wasn't just like some guy ends up in the system and is like, I'll call it Atlantis. No, it was all pre-planned. There was documents, there was a board drafting all this stuff. That changes, however, when you get to some of the more like independent systems, which I want to add more of in the OTO. So yeah, let's start messing around with that right now, actually. I think that's something I can work on and just try to figure out the way in. So, if this is the main highway, there's going to be a route down there that goes there. I don't know what to do. This is scary. All right, let's just start adding stuff. We'll see what feels right. Because I think one of the problems right now with the Amazonia cluster is that it feels kind of empty. And Brazil is too spread out. Well, not necessarily too spread out, but there's too many Brazilian systems here and not enough independent systems, so I kind of want to go back and change that up, but let's start adding some more around here. Let's see how this looks. But where? So, just in case anyone's wondering what's going on, this is me just kind of experimenting, trying to figure out what's going to feel right. So I guess my question right now is, when you look at, oh no, that's gonna be annoying. Yeah, so when you look at the Sea of Clouds, does it feel like too much of it has been claimed by the superpowers? Because one thing I've been wanting to do, and I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I never actually get around to it, is adding in like these kind of clusters of unclaimed territory or neutral territory or, you know, disputed territory, kind of along the main routes, and then you split off into like the American cluster or the British cluster or whatever. So I don't know, I'm not totally against it, but it would require like deleting a lot of the map right now and kind of redoing a lot of stuff, which again, not opposed to, but I think I'll save that for an entire stream on its own. Brucilli asking, what ideas do you have to make the PSA culturally / politically unique from the USA? A great question that I have no answer to at the moment. The inclusion of the Pacific states of America is like mostly not a balancing thing, but like it's something to make the geopolitics more interesting, and I haven't even considered the cultural historical implications yet, other than how it started. So I guess the main way is that the PSA and the USA have different priorities in the Cold War, and that's what really sets them apart. I think the United States is more concerned with the Axis and Germany. PSA maybe more attuned to things happening in the Calypso Deeps and New Canaan corridor against the Sphere in Japan. So I think their foreign policy is how they mostly stand apart, but in terms of culture and society and all that, no idea. All right, what else do we got? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed a super chat earlier from Charlie Berry saying, hold on, they're a little Mussolini. Not just a little, they're pretty Mussolini-ish. I mean, they are fascists, so only so much you can do there. Garlic pudding. My favorite type of pudding, by the way. Garlic pudding really hits the spot. Saying, for marking major transit lanes / important colonies, bold lines and give them names. Victoria Way, Washington Run, a little Star Warsy, but works. So I got a plan for that. Major lanes are marked with these thicker lines. I guess bolder, you might say. But we also want the original names along the transit routes to be reflective of the early age of exploration, which is why a lot of the names over here still have names like Beta Hydrus, Alpha Hydrus, Tau Eridanus. So the idea will be to go back and build up more names, like more clusters here. There should be like a Tau cluster. There should be a Hydrus cluster. There should be a lot more going on this route if it is, in fact, one of the most important in the Orion Arm. Yeah. I hope this kind of world building is enjoyable. So a lot of what we've done so far in this project is, put down star systems and connect the lines, but I think just talking things out, explaining what I'm thinking about is probably way more reflective of the actual process, because so much of this is just me staring at the map and being like, okay, what do we do? I have no idea, and then trying to figure out a route from there. So thank you for indulging me, regardless of whether or not we're putting down thousands of star systems and figuring everything out, because some of this is just, there's nothing you can really do but stare at the screen. And Charlie Berry asking, are there going to be webway / wormholes? Probably not. I feel that seems a bit too sci-fi to me. I don't know, maybe I'll be proven wrong immediately as soon as we discover the webway and or wormholes, but for right now, it feels too sci-fi for what we want to do. All right, but you know what? To hell with it. Let's add the Philippines. I gotta get something done. So I'm just gonna bring up their roundel. Philippines roundel. Oh yeah, they got a great one. That is not gonna work at all on this map. Okay, so what do I do? Alright, so if we do have anyone in the Philippines in the stream currently, I apologize in advance from butchering your amazing roundel. I mean, I'm gonna bring it on stream here just because it is so good looking. I'm a big fan of any roundel that abandons the usual circle thing and does something cooler, as the Filipinos have done. Unfortunately, not gonna work on this map because we kind of need round. But let me bring that on as a... What did I just do? So far, none of the music in the background has been appropriate for what we're doing. Not sure I like that. Okay, now that's not too close to anything, is it? People are gonna understand that's the Philippines. I am not sure if that is true. Is there a better symbol I can quickly use? Probably not. I guess I'll just stick with this for now. Okay, where should the Philippines be? So, Philippines closely linked to the Americans. So they would have been using American drives, meaning they probably ended up somewhere around the Sunset Gates. But, oh, chat's saying it's a little closer to the French roundel. Yeah, that's a risk. Oof. Yep, okay, that's too close. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's, okay, I got it. Hold on. Why is it so difficult to open up stuff on stream here? Here we go. Maybe we do a... No, that's gonna get lost. Like, there's no way this is gonna be legible, right? At small resolution. I guess we'll see. Oh shit, that might work. Okay, where the hell is the center of this thing? Yeah, good enough for now, I think. That'll do. Burke Barnett saying, thanks for the super chat, saying Philippines equals bulwark on the sole side of USA systems. I was actually kind of thinking that maybe somewhere like on the top part of the Sunset Gates, like up there. Or around here. I do like the idea of the Philippine state being kind of on the way to the Rubicon. But are there any other interesting places we could put it? If it's American, or at least American adjacent, it should be around here. Alright, to hell with it. Let's imagine that these are no longer connected. No, it's too crazy. It's too far. And Tugasa Batu asking, are there 2 Atlantis systems? Yeah, there are multiple duplicates on the map right now. My apologies for that. It's kind of gotten out of control. Originally, this was the OG Atlantis, and these were the Atlantis gates, I think. And now I'm thinking that Atlantis and Avalon make for 2 good names on either side of the superstring. So I feel like this Atlantis is done for, and this will be the new one moving forward. Yeah, this is a work in progress, guys, so consider everything broken / being worked on. Toucan Man saying, a new Atlantis, if you will. Precisely. Except this one has, you know, a giant wormhole between them. I mean, the Philippines don't necessarily need to have like a giant empire, but I do like the idea of them being kind of in the Sunset Gates. Yeah. Maybe we'll give them one more, a nice triple star system kind of thing. What's the population of the Philippines? It's probably up there, right? 115 million. Shit. Okay, they're gonna need more. They are gonna be a pretty big part of Oto, as it would happen. So in that case, let's get them out of the Sunset Gates. Let's give them more room to breathe here. Oh shit, maybe they're here. I feel like the Australia, United States kind of impact zone makes a lot of sense for the Philippines. Of course, it should be said that we're currently doing the Commonwealth of Philippines, which is the Oto Philippines. The Co-Prosperity Sphere likely has their version of the Philippines as well, so there are multiple Philippines in this universe. I am the guardsman asking, weren't the Philippines ground zero of the First Infaxi War? Wouldn't their population and power as a nation be thoroughly diminished? Kind of. So they were the ground zero, but it also meant that the Philippines got the most help at the start. When the Infaxi virus was confined to the Philippines, evacuating them was a worldwide effort, and then as soon as it spread outside of that and it got worse, not so much. But initially, a lot of the work went into saving the Philippines, which is why they're still around today. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to really need to mess with some of the navigation routes on this map. But for now, I like the idea of putting planets where they seem just the coolest and then working around that, working backwards. Oh, come on, give me a break. So, is that something? Yeah, it is. Yeah, in general, I think this map needs a lot more of these scale of powers, like just small clusters, like, well, not small, but you know what I mean. Multi-star clusters that feature a major nation. I think that looks pretty good. But we can go even crazier. Let's add some more. Something like that. Kind of looks like an animal of some kind. You got the head and the two legs and a tail. So, if I know anything about this chat, it'll be thrilled. They love it when the stars look like animals. But yeah, that's working really well for me. I think that's pretty good. Lakeside Trey saying it looks like a horse, let's go. This is what happens, right? You start a Discord server for something, and the jokes on the Discord server get repeated forever, but I'm completely divorced from that, so I have no idea what's going on. What is the significance of a horse in the Dawn of Victory community? If someone could explain this to me, I'd be very appreciative. I mean, I understood the snails, right? Because, what was it? The Well of Embers kind of looked like a snail at one point, or still does. But the significance of the horse, I still have no idea. Okay, so we got America, we got the UK, we got Ireland, we got Quebec, we got Australasia, we got the Philippines. Are there any other nations that should be in OTO that I haven't even considered yet that I should probably put on the map right now? Well, let's see. Who's in NATO in real life? Let's bring that up. Membership. Okay, so... member states of NATO. We got Albania, probably in the German Reich, so no. We got Belgium, probably in the German Reich. Bulgaria, split between the Germans and the Soviets. Canada, taken over by the United Kingdom. Croatia, probably in the German Reich. Czech Republic, German Reich. Denmark. The Danish realm. Could they have made it out? Ah, nah. They'd be split between the GGR and the Scandinavian states, if anything. Estonia, Soviet Union. Finland, Soviet Union / the Scandinavian states. We already got France. Germany is its own thing in this universe. Greece. Greece. You know what? I think the main Greece is going to be in the German Reich, but we should have a Greek planet in Oto. I feel like the Greek Diaspora deserve it. Greek Roundel. If you'll just bear with me real quick here. Oh, I mean, that's pretty simple. Okay, I can do that. And what's a roundel I can copy? Pakistan, you've come through once again. This legend is getting kind of cumbersome. I gotta figure out a new solution for that one. So this is free Greece. Oh, come on. Why isn't that working? Okay, yep, good enough for now. What have I screwed up? All right, I'll do it manually. Except, doesn't this sucks? What have I done? I'm gonna have to invert it. Okay, this has temporary written all over it, but for now, we got free Greece. They might not even be called Greece. But let's put them over here. To secure the Scandinavian-Greek alliance. Okay, who else from NATO? Where's my NATO? Did I shut down that? All right, no problem. NATO members. Okay, who else do we got? And is there anyone I've... Could Belgium have a state in exile? Yeah. I think I'm gonna revisit Belgium and add a Benelux territory somewhere, but it has to be a new state, a non-legacy state. But apart from that, Czech Republic, no. Denmark, no. Who else do we got? Hungary, Iceland. Iceland is part of OTO. Luxembourg doesn't count. Too small. Montenegro, possibly. I think most of these states would have gotten eaten up into the GGR. Nothing really standing out. What about like the special arrangements? Like the NATO non-NATO allies? Major non-NATO allies? Okay. It's possible they could have gotten joined up in this. So who do we have? New Zealand, already dealt with them. Argentina, part of the Axis. Taiwan, the Chinese question is gonna require a stream in itself. Thailand, Philippines, and Singapore. I got the Philippines. Pakistan, got Pakistan. Tunisia. Yeah, we gotta get some African states in here. So I would say Kenya or Tunisia are like, although it's hard to say, like we can get away with pretty much anything given our alternate history, but I think that's gonna require more research and not something I can just drop on stream out of nowhere. So what do we got? That leaves the East African Federation as another major member of OTO, but I'm not sure where they are. I'm not sure if they're actually in the Sea of Clouds or if they joined OTO after they... Sorry. Chat's saying Kenya is in the EAF. Oh, East African Federation. Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, right now on the Dawn of Victory wiki, I think the East African Federation is listed as part of OTO, just not sure where it should be. I think it's going to be over here. Not all of OTO is in here. Huh. All right, you know what? Screw it. I am actually going to call the stream here. I feel like I've hit another natural break, and I don't want to start, trying to make these streams fit some predetermined length rather than what my brain's actually telling me to do here. So here's what I'm thinking. I feel like I'm hitting roadblock after roadblock these last two streams, and I feel like it's caused by not having kind of the foundation of the map set in terms of like where the major highways are. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. Next stream, that'll be next Wednesday, 1 week today, we're not gonna add any new star systems. Instead, we're gonna start Well, maybe we will. But we're going to start going through the big transit lanes in the galaxy, or in the Orion Arm, and streamline them and make them easier to distinguish from everything else. I think that's something this map needs. So, plan for next stream would be a giant rework going from here probably there. Yeah. I want to go to all the star systems along these kind of areas and start moving them around, maybe adding some more independent systems, but in the Sea of Clouds especially, I think we need a giant rework in how we're doing the spacing between independent systems and claimed systems. Other things I need to research for next stream. Who are some members of OTO that aren't legacy powers? Because I feel like we also need some just, fictional nations that came out of nowhere. Like the, whatever Dominion alongside France. And get some naming ideas done for the Philippines, because I don't even know if the Philippines have an entry on our list here. Not sure. Apart from that, if you want to follow the project, there's some in-universe social media that just got linked. I don't know I think it might actually be still broken, but the point is, there's stuff going on. I think I've reached the natural close here, so I'm going to save. Perfect. Let's bring back the old HUD. Alrighty. Sorry for the shorter one today, but I feel like it's just right. Thank you all for joining me. Nevertheless, streaming don't stop though. What's today? Friday or Thursday? Yeah, I was sick yesterday. My apologies for that. I think I'm feeling better now. But tomorrow, gonna be streaming some StarCraft. Been slowly working my way through the campaign since I'm in a sci-fi space opera mood. Saturday, Corey Loses and I might be hosting a game of Sins of a Solar Empire 2 starting on Saturday. We still gotta plan that out, so we'll see. Monday, not sure, but then 1 week today, or 1 week from yesterday. I keep thinking today is Wednesday. But anyways, on Wednesday next week, we're back to the stream. And, I don't know, I guess I'll just open it up to any questions before I close out here. Anything I forgot to miss, or any super chats, or anything else? What do we got? I'm happy to give another 5-10 minutes here. I am the Guardsman asking any ideas as to the other 2 to 5 superpower flashpoints. So as in, where might the Cold War start if it goes hot? So flashpoint number 1 is the Vega system. The Germans... I wish I had my tablet. This would have been good for that. All right, flashpoint number 1. There. Flashpoint number 2 is the new Canaan corridor. Between Oto and the Sphere. Apologies for my terrible writing. Flashpoint number 3. I feel like the Rubicon is probably one. We haven't really set up the politics of it yet, but I am making an educated guess that the Rubicon is up there. So that's number 3. And are there any... Oh yeah, I mean the big one is right here. And this is, we got Soviets coming from one side. GGR coming from this side. And Oto coming in from the south. But there needs to be a flashpoint that involves everybody. And I'm not sure what that would be. Or does there? Is it too cartoonish if there's one planet that every superpower wants? That does feel kind of cartoony, actually. I feel like these more regional conflicts seem good. But as for the other big ones, there's a big one around here. There's probably one around here. And that might be it, so far at least, in terms of the major flashpoints. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's those are the major ones. All right. Any other big questions? Vega295 asking, what is the sea of clouds surrounded by? I viewed it as kind of a geode filled with stars and yeah, I mean, in terms of what it's surrounded by, I've tried to keep like what this map actually represents kind of abstract. Like, does space actually look like this? Who knows? But in terms of what surrounds the Orion Arm, I don't know, I guess like, or what surrounds the Sea of Clouds. I don't know how to answer that question, sorry. I think I know what you mean, but I can't get an answer for you. I guess like, I don't know, interstellar space? It'll be easier when we can see the entire map, maybe that'll help, so sorry about that. Toucan Man asking, will there be any Caribbean legacy nations? Yes. That actually might be a good candidate for Oto membership there. Yeah, Caribbean nations might be kind of cool around here, or maybe in the Sea of Clouds itself. Possibly. Titanic X saying, will Earth's ruins play a major role in the future? Hard to say. I mean, I would say that the ruins of Earth are always important. I think, I mean, it's hard to know what would happen if we all, you know, fucked off to the galaxy and Earth was a desolate ruin. In most science fiction, it always seems like Earth is like not important. You know how in like Dune, it's like, oh yeah, and then Earth is somewhere, but we lost track of it and no one really cares. I think in this, it's the opposite, where Earth is incredibly important because it was torn away from humanity in such a violent and terrible way. So I think Earth is, I don't know, it's like a religious site for everybody, not just the religious. Hey, and a super chat from Temple of the Gods, thank you very much, saying the World Wars involved so many countries because of alliances drawing the non-involved nations in, so maybe go that way? In regards to what? I'm not sure about the context. If you're talking about flashpoints, that is kind of the idea. A major part of the lore in this universe is that the Cold War it's like a pyramid, and at the top you, oh man, I cannot write for shit. Super powers. And then like at the bottom you got like some asshole. So like the way I see it, the Cold War is like all encompassing, and at the top you got the superpowers, which are making the big moves, playing the grand game, and then you got the bottom, which is just like some rebel dying in a ditch someplace with a gun, and that's the two extremes. But how does it go from the bottom to the top is all about escalation theory and a major part of the universe. So the idea is that, like, yeah, maybe there's a conflict that starts on these lower levels between, you know, Tau Ceti and Vesta, and it starts here. But then as more allies get drawn in, the risk of escalation increases, the risk of the Cold War going hot increases, and that's kind of the feeling there. And I feel like I just talked over a bunch of more questions that got dropped in chat. My apologies. So anything else? Flays Flame gonna ask, is the story gonna focus more on planetary warfare or large numbers of ships battling? I mean, technically, no story at all, just a setting. So it can focus on whatever you like. I mean, we're certainly going to be providing information on both of those things. If you are a big fan of planetary invasions, there will be a lot in the setting. If you're a fan of giant ass space battles, there will be a lot of those in this setting. So yeah, this universe doesn't have a specific focus. Like I want to focus on like the military side of things, but also the civilian side of things, and then also like the far frontier where all of this is just the background. Going to be hopefully a very deep, expansive universe is the general plan. And yeah, all right, I feel like that's enough questions for now. Thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, we're back on Wednesday next week, continuing the stream, and hopefully I'll have a whole bunch of notes because this stream in particular gave me a lot to think about. Alrighty, so thanks once again, and see you soon.